Hi everybody, my name is Maddy Mandall. I'm part of the team with Queensland Baptist, and it's my joy to be sharing a bit of a conversation here this morning with Kay Warren. We are joining you guys from Baptist World Congress, and it's been a joy, Kay, watching you minister and share throughout the week. Many of you will know of Kay Warren. Her and her husband Rick were the founders of Saddleback Church, and Kay herself has had decades of incredible ministry in advocacy and justice as an author and speaking all around the globe. But also most recently, we've been hearing about the ministry you've had with families that are wrestling with mental health issues. So it's a joy to have a little bit of a chat with you today.
Thank you. It's just so good to be with you.
How's this trip to Australia been for you? I know you've been here before, but how's this trip been going?
Yeah, but I haven't ever been to the Baptist World Alliance.
Excellent.
So this is a first, and so that makes it special.
Yeah.
It's been good.
That's amazing. Have you had any highlights of time at Congress so far?
I loved the Next Gen. You know, they were just so enthusiastic, and I don't know, their spirit of we've got this, you know, loving the Lord, loving the world, loving people. Yeah, that got me really excited.
I get to do so much work with our next generation leaders, and yeah, I always feel the exact same way. And I know they were so encouraged, but also deeply inspired by you sharing with them and praying with them, and so yeah, it was truly wonderful to see. You've been able to share with so many people here. You've been speaking, but also meeting so many as well. And I wondered, you know, as you've caught this little snapshot of the global church at Congress, if there's anything that God's really been laying on your heart for the church, for this moment in time, ways that we can be serving Him and serving in mission together.
Well, you know, the passion God has put on my heart, you mentioned it, is really around families, individuals and families living or impacted by mental illness. They're typically a forgotten group, for years a stigmatized group. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people in the church treated mental illness as though it wasn't real, or it was just a spiritual issue. And so a lot of stigma and a lot of suffering, where people didn't always feel welcome to bring their broken selves, you know, to the church.
Yeah.
And then their families suffered as well. So I am thrilled that God has given me the opportunity to talk very openly and directly to church leaders about the call to care for people with mental illness, and that every church has a role to play. Yeah. So that's what gets me up in the morning these days, and I do believe it is a message from God to the church.
I 100% agree.
And not just big churches, it's every single church has something that they can do that will impact positively the lives of people with mental illness.
Yes, every church and every believer, as you say, I think pretty much all of us know someone or impacted ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's gotten easier to say, oh, I'm living with depression, or I'm living with anxiety, or, you know, even to say some of the harder diagnoses, like, you know, I have bipolar 2, or it's all hard. But if there's a safe, welcoming place in the church, it's one less place we suffer alone.
And you have so many incredible resources as part of your ministry. If people that are viewing this want to read more about that or see more, where can they head to learn more about what you guys do?
My website is hopeforbrightertomorrows, plural, .org. Yeah. And lots of free resources, downloadables, links to support groups, information for churches, individuals, families, information about suicide, grief, every diagnosis, you know, around mental illness. So it's a pretty robust site for people to get some help.
It's really exciting for me to see this being spoken about more candidly in the church, but also to have something like that available for people who maybe don't know where to start, they don't know where to look and where they might be able to.
I didn't know as a mom. I didn't know what information to trust. And so we're trying to be a trusted resource, like one-stop shop, if you will, for information.
Yeah, one-stop shop and a signpost as well, I'm sure, to lots of other places people can go for hope, for sport, all those things along the way. I've had the joy of seeing you in action a little bit at our Next Gen Leaders Summit at the beginning of the week and this morning when you shared too, and I've been really blessed and really inspired to see the way you've cared for people. You've not just shared so inspiringly and confidently, but you've also been walking alongside people all week and hearing their stories and praying with them and sitting with them. And so thank you. That's been such an encouragement for me. That's one of my highlights of the week for sure. But you've been leading and you've been ministering in all kinds of different spaces for decades. And I know for myself as a young woman leader and many other young women leaders in our movement, I wonder if you had an encouragement for them as they seek to obey God and to live and to serve in their areas of passion or conviction.
Yeah, you don't have to be an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. I'm really an introvert. So it really isn't about your personality. It's about just trying to be, the world is such a lonely place. We carry burdens by ourselves. And at church, you'd think that would be the safest place in the world to say, I'm struggling or I'm hurting or I have a need. And often it's not. We feel like we have to pretend or put on the happy smile or sing the really enthusiastic big songs when inside maybe we're struggling and hurting. And I think if we could recognize that with each other so that when we're speaking to somebody else at church, that take that risk of saying, I could use some prayer this morning, and you don't even necessarily have to say what it is, but just even saying, I'm standing here and I need something from God today. And to be that for each other. I think sometimes when people are really struggling, we can have faith for them. We can stand in community next to them and sing those songs for them as they kind of make their way back. We're just recognizing that everybody's feeling lonely and that we can minister in some way, in kindness.
And we're all human. It makes me think too of the verse of God's power being made perfect in our weakness. We're actually, it gives such a permission-giving verse to say we do not have to have it all together,
That's right.
but we're allowed to stand with Him and stand in community and support one another on the journey. Thank you for that encouragement, and thank you for popping by to share with us, but also for the ministry that you've been doing here on a global level for our Baptist family. It's been a joy to chat, and I hope you and Rick enjoy the rest of your time here.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.